Welcome back to the channel. I am going to show you how quick and easy it is to make your own ornaments all in the embroidery hoop. I have all these free designs on my Patreon page, and what inspired me is our favorite Christmas songs. So this is mine, and my favorite Christmas song is the Holly. So here's the Holly and the Ivy. And I also personalized it. This does not come with my free design, so you would have to purchase small font from someone else. And I love how you can personalize it just because it makes these ornaments so much more unique. But if you don't have anything to personalize it with, the original design does have like a little line right here that just is like a little swoop, kind of like one of these, just so that it's not empty right there. So let me show you how easy it is to make this design. This is the design and what it looks like on my Embrilliance for software. And you can see that there's this one green right here that is a different color than the rest of the green. I did that purposely because I wanted a stop in case you wanted to personalize this. And this would be the perfect spot right here to personalize. So all you would do is, if you want to personalize, would be to take this and just click delete. And then I'm going to personalize with my name because the Holly and the Ivy is my favorite Christmas song. You have to have tiny font to make this work. And so I don't even know where I got this font. It says GD tiny font 0.30. So I'm just going to type in my name real quick. All right. And this is what it normally looks like. And I'm going to move it where I want it and slant it just like so. And then I just wanted to see how much bigger the other font would be. Because there's a 0.34 as well. Okay, kind of like that one. Okay. And so then I'm going to actually curve the top. So I'm just going to take this little slider and start to curve the top. And then I also want to space out my letters. I'm going to curve it a little bit more. I like the look of that. And so now when you like the look of your font, you're going to take your personalization and you're going to move it before the berries. So here's the berries. So it does all the dark green font. Then it'll do my personalization. Then it will do the berries. And then it'll do the back. And then the final satin stitch. I like it. It looks good. So I like how I personalized it. And I'm going to save this and move it to my machine. We'll start by hooping a piece of tearaway stabilizer in your 4x4 hoop. Make sure it is nice and taut so your stitches come out clean and even. And as you can see, I am using a 4x4 hoop, which is why I really love this design because it only requires a 4x4 hoop, or you can use larger. But it's very accessible to most embroidery machines. Using the placement stitch as your guide, grab your low loft batting and place it over the placement stitches, making sure they extend past the stitch line, and run the next stitch. This stitch will tack it down. Once the tack down stitch is completed, remove the hoop from the machine and carefully trim around it, removing all the excess low loft batting. I want you to be very careful here so you don't cut any of the stitches. This will also just keep the edges nice and clean and prevent extra bulk. Now place the hoop back in your machine and run the next stitch. This will be the placement stitch for your exterior front fabric piece, and it outlines exactly where your fabric needs to go. Now grab your front exterior fabric piece. I'm using canvas because I like a material that has a little more structure. It makes it easier for the design to stitch cleanly. Place your fabric right side up over the placement stitches, making sure it fully covers the outline. Then run the next stitch, which will tack it down securely. Just like before, remove the hoop from the embroidery machine without unhooping the stabilizer and carefully cut around the tack down stitches. Trim close to the stitch line to remove the excess fabric, leaving a clean edge for the rest of the design. Now comes the fun part, the fine stitch details. The machine will first stitch out the holly leaves. What I love about this design is that it's simple to run, but it also combines this really pretty sketch style fill with satin stitches to outline and embellish the leaves, giving them a beautiful layered look. I like to use like a dark green thread here for a nice classic Christmas touch. After the holly leaves are finished, the design will move right into the vines. These also stitch quickly, and the sketch detail adds a delicate texture that just really ties the whole design together. After the holly leaves and vines have stitched out, the design will either move into your personalization stitch, so like if you've added a name or special wording, or it will continue with another vine that flows right into the berry section. Lastly, change your thread to red and run the final detail stitch, which will create the berries. These little pops of color, they really bring the holly design to life and make the ornament feel extra festive. The front is all done. Now we're gonna flip the hoop over and we're gonna find the top of the hoop, which is right here. And we're gonna take our ribbon, and I cut out how much I want, which is about this much, I would say. And then I'm going to use tape to secure it in place so it doesn't move while it does the next stitch. And I do put some extra tape up top here because I want it to lay as flat as possible and so it doesn't shift when it's down there. Oops. All right, so then I have that how I want it, okay? And now you're gonna grab your back piece fabric, which I'm using just the canvas again, and I'm going to place it over the stitches right side facing up and use tape again to secure it in place. And then I will take it to the machine and do the next stitch, which will do the tack down stitch for here, and then we'll cut around it just like what we did before. Insert it back into the machine and run the next stitch. This will be the tack down stitch to attach the back to the stabilizer and front piece. Remove the hoop from the embroidery machine and turn it over. Begin carefully cutting around the canvas fabric on the back to remove the excess fabric. Be sure to trim close to the stitch line for a clean finish, but take extra care not to cut the ribbon that's stitched into the seam. At this time, I like to change my bobbin thread to match my upper thread, since the next step will be the satin stitch that goes all the way around the circle. I'm using gold for both the top and bobbin threads, so the ornament looks neat and professional on the front and the back. Now run the final stitch of the design, which is the satin stitch that goes all the way around the design. It borders the circle. This step is so beautiful. The gold thread creates a really smooth edge that just secures the ornament layers together, but also frames the design like a little piece of like holiday jewelry or something. It just gives it a really timeless Christmas feel. Now we're gonna flip it over, we're gonna take off this extra tape, and we're gonna remove it from the hoop. And then we're just going to carefully tear away the stabilizer. And you have a completed ornament. Isn't that just darling? It is super easy to customize. It has a little bit of thickness just from that low batting. And of course, this is what the back looks like. And so I'm gonna stick with a theme of, it's kind of like canvas, well, it is canvas, and gold, and then of course the design. So I have mine done, and now 3 more to go. Thanks for watching. This design is free on my Patreon. Check the link below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more creative fun.